Ahoy, mateys! Today we're sailing out to Greenville, North Carolina in search of booty. And this week's scouting report. Hope you guys like it. Alright, looking at East Carolina's offense. He had a total about 6,700 yards total offense. About a little over 3,000 passing yards and about 1,700 rushing yards per game. He did have 29 passing touchdowns, 29 rushing. Looks to be pretty balanced. This looks like a pretty good, nice, balanced offense. Now, throwing the ball. This is throwing, passing. 410 attempts, averaged a little over 200 yards a game. He was sacked 22 times. I would say probably due to him waiting on receivers to come open, and just the defense got some coverage sacks. And he only threw 10 picks. This might not seem like too much, but 10, that's awesomely low to only throw 10 picks on the year. I think I threw like 25 or something. It was crazy, like more than double this. Rushing the ball, 200 attempts, average about 120 yards a game. Looking at this here, 200 yards a game throwing, a little over 100 yards a game rushing. That's pretty damn good. All right, we're going to look at his quarterback. He is a 90 overall. Thing about him, he's got zero speed, pretty much. This guy's a 67 for speed. Not going to see a lot of, probably not going to see a lot of read option out of this. I do not know what offense East Carolina runs, or if he has a custom playbook or anything like that. But with that speed, I wouldn't look to him to run. Now, maybe if he runs a four-wide set and everybody's covered, is he going to kind of scramble for a few yards? Yeah, sure. I don't think his quarterback did have about 103 attempts with 3 touchdowns, but like I said, he's got some low speeds. He's probably not going to look for this guy to beat you. Break on the wide receivers here. Let me see. This guy, number 1 receiver is a 78. Another 78, 77, 74. Now, these two guys are sophomores. These two guys are juniors. So these guys are going to stick around. They ain't going to do nothing but get better. They got great speed and great release. But on down the line here on these other guys, this guy's still pretty quick, but their release is pretty bad. Like this third receiver, his release is only 60. And this one's release is 70. All these guys here, he has top 3 receivers had 40 receptions apiece, 40 plus. His tight end had about 31, and his halfback had about 35. So he's spreading the ball around considerably. Now his tight end is an 80 overall. This guy's a junior. He's going to be back. He does a great job at spreading the ball around once you start looking at his stats. He's not looking for one guy to throw to. Now look at his rushers. You see, he's got a guy that's an 89 and a guy that's a 79. Now both these guys are seniors. Yet to be seen who he gets to replace these guys. Pretty decent. 89's got great speed. It's 90. He looks good. Like I said, looking at this stuff here, he's going to run the ball. Okay? His offensive line, they look pretty good. He's got 90. One guy's a 90 on the... His right guard's a 76. His center is an 89. Left guard's an 80. And his left tackle's an 85. Now, if you're looking at the line, if you kind of look... I'm kind of turning my head sideways here. This is your line lined up. Tackle, guard, center, guard, tackle. If you're going to bring some pressure, I'd bring it to 76 that way. We'll look at that in a second. Turnovers. I think he was +2. Because he said he had, let me see, through 10 picks, had 4 fumbles. Like I said, it's +2. It's not bad. All right, we're going to hit the defense. Okay, Eastern Carolina defense drawing out here. He gave up about 4,000 yards total passing. 2682 came through the air, and about 1,267 through the ground. Nothing really jumps out at me with that, but there it is nonetheless. His defense, I'm thinking he's going to have a bit of problems if he plays some users as far as matchup stuff with some of the elite defenses that we have as far as users go. Now his sacks, as you can see down here in the corner, he had 38 sacks on the year. This ain't coming from just one person. I looked at it. They're spread out all over the place from the linebackers to the defensive line. I don't think he brought any corners. But I wouldn't be surprised to see one come at you. As far as interceptions, he had 15 picks on the year. Most of those coming from the first, second, and third corner, which I don't know if I explained this, but in any other of the scouting videos, your number one, number two corners are going to be on the far outside parts of the field. So let's say, 85 is number one. He's going to be either on this side or he's going to be over on this side. And then number two is going to be swapped. Third is going to be the same side the number one guy is. Then the four is going to be, of course, on the other side. Now, some of these corners, we'll just start at the top here. His number one corner is at 85. I got him drawn out over here. He's got great man coverage. It's a 90. 90 man coverage. His press is a 92. That's pretty good. This guy's an elite corner. As far as the other guys go, I would swap your, try to throw it to a different area, just to stay away from this guy. On down the list here, cornerback number 2. He's got a 91 man coverage and a 83 press. I write down the press a lot, and I don't know if I talked about this either. I write down the press a lot because I look. I don't know if anybody else does, but even though I run a hurry-up style offense, I pause for a second and look and see what the defense is doing. Are they pressing me? Are they backing off? Does it look like a man coverage? Does it look like zone coverage? So I look at that stuff, and I don't know if anybody else does. On down the list, the third one, the 74. He's got 77 man coverage, 83 press, man coverage. On down the line, 71. This guy's got 71 man coverage and 76 press. You're a guy that runs a spread offense, I'd look to throw to this is going to be your third receiver. This guy's going to be covering your third receiver unless he changes it around. But I'd look and see. Get on, I don't know what this guy's number is. Get on there, get your piece of paper, write his number down, and target this guy. Whoever 71's covering. It's decent as far as the running game goes. I'd look to pound the middle, and which would be left. Your left, looking at the screen, but on the defensive point is going to be the right. That's what I have, the right and left up here. Because as far as looking at it on your TV, this is going to be your left side, but it's going to be the right end. Just to stay away from this guy. Not that, I would do that. As far as the middle linebackers, they're decent linebackers. They don't have good man coverage, but like I said 1,000 times, neither do any of the other linebackers. Because I pretty much look and try to look at as many linebackers, outside linebackers as I can when I'm scouting. So I'm trying to find that one guy that might have, about an 80 man coverage. That'd be wonderful. On down through here to his free safety and strong safety. Now, his free safety's got this guy here. He's got, my marker. He's got 80 man coverage and 86 zone coverage. This other secondary, this guy, 56 man coverage, 66 zone coverage. I'd probably look at the depth chart. This might have been one of those guys that, like, if you're going after a strong safety or whatever position, you don't get him and you get one of those walk-on guys that the computer does for you. That's probably what this guy is. Because I would assume that he's not going to leave this guy at 66 zone coverage. especially as much as he wants to blitz these linebackers. Because what happens on your offense, anytime you blitz anybody than the 4 defensive linemen, so if you're bringing extra pressure, let's say these two, these guys have to cover somebody then in man coverage. If it's a man coverage deal, he's got to be in zone. But either way, I wouldn't want this guy guarding anybody. This guy needs to be guarding the water bucket on the bench. Like, not talking bad about anybody's team or anything, but we all want to win. And if I looked at somebody's deal and seen this guy had 66 zone coverage, man, I'm going to throw the ball like crazy. Okie doke, let's sum it all up. When you're on offense, take advantage of his 3rd and 4th receivers, or take advantage of your 3rd and 4th receivers, which is going to be his 3rd and 4th corners. He's got a weak defensive line. You can take advantage of that. Weak compared to some of the other defensive lines that we've seen, some of the other elite teams that we got that users control. When you're on offense, is he blitzing? Look to see if he's blitzing. And I would throw to receiver that the strong safety and free safety are going to be covering, whether that be in man or zone. Now you're going to have to kind of understand what the assignments are when you're on offense to do that. He does not have a deep team. What I mean by deep is like 3rd and 4th, defensive tackles, 2nd and 3rd, defensive ends, people like that. Because once they're tired, who's going to come back in? Like I'm going to say every single time, win the turnover battle. It's imperative. When you're on defense, he's going to spread the ball around a bunch. So look for him to do that. He's probably not going to force many passes. He only threw 10 interceptions. That's awesome. His tight ends and his halfbacks are huge in the passing game. He's got a weak A gap for his line. What that means, if you got your center, guards, tackles, this right here, this is your A gap in between here. A gap, your B gaps, your C gaps are on your outside. Now the center is pretty good, but he can only cover 1. So if you're bringing 2, that means the center's going to have to bring somebody else. So he's got a weak A gap. That's what that is. He may have problems matchup wise versus some of the elite defenses that some of the other users control. Stay balanced on your defense. He's going to run the ball. He's going to throw the ball. He stayed pretty balanced with it all last season. So that's a pretty good indicator that you need to stay balanced. With what you're doing. All right. Good luck when you play East Carolina. Hope this helps. If you guys got questions, comments, or whatever, send me a message on Xbox. Send me a message, comments, whatever. If I got something wrong, tell me. I'll fix it.